Let's move on to other stories. Almost half of all fire hydrants across the country are not functioning. That is according to the fire service. The situation exposes the country to the dangers of fire outbreaks as the service is handicapped in fighting fire. Here in Accra, many of them are either damaged, hidden, or with no water at all. My colleague Justice Baidu went in search of some of these hydrants.
This was the scene from one of the worst fire disasters in Makola, one of Ghana's largest markets, last year. A 3-story building razed to the ground, and along with it, property running into millions of cedis. When the fire happened in July 2021, the fire service, which is housed barely 500 meters away, spent hours in search of water before they could make it here. Onlookers said their delay was part of the reasons why the fire did the damage it did. Today, the traders are building back from the rubble. Right across the road, there is brisk business. It's a Saturday, Makola's big sales day. This is a fire hydrant tucked away just underneath the giant Makola Market building. It looks old and abandoned. You need to look really hard to find it. The traders here have displayed their wares on it. This woman sells earrings, and it is on the hydrant that she sells.
So this here is one of the many fire hydrants that are hidden inside the Okainshi market and also parts of the Makola market. In here, you could find a very busy day, a Saturday when market activities are at its peak, and you find traders selling their wares all around the hydrant. You have stuff, someone selling earrings, all around the hydrant. People sit around here to do their business, and many of the people who trade and do business here are not even aware that these are fire hydrants and do not know what to do around them in case there is fire. Fire hydrant, who madeko?
Debbie.
I don't know what a fire hydrant is.
When there's fire,
I'll run away. Everyone will run away. Even when there's fire, I don't think we'll find water in this hydrant. I know this is a fire hydrant, but I don't know anything about it. If I notice there's fire, I'll help fetch water to douse it. I know also that when you add detergent to water, it helps douse fire faster, so that's what I'll do.
I have come to Jamestown. This place used to be called British Accra, and many of fire services hydrants, a lot of them laid from the colonial days, are here. Mensah has lived in Jamestown for the most part of his life. He has come to show me one fire hydrant which is now filled with rubbish, choked, and looking like one that is out of use.
Titino say jato ha bebia a hire no fire for number connect insuo no wo ho ade no de dum ja no anom de ko bebi foforo e ko dum ja no but nan say de ntse bio hydrant no ye won de dem de aye no.
This hydrant used to work. I don't know what happened to it.
I don't know if,
there used to be water in it. We used to even fish from it. It became a refuse dump. People dropped stones, food leftovers, everything was dumped into it.
Back at Makola, business continues. But the traders here, many of them who have seen different fire outbreaks rip through the market in the past, know they are sitting on a ticking time bomb, not knowing when the next fire would come, and worse, not knowing if there would be a working hydrant with water to save them and their property. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
Well, in the studio here in Kokomlemle, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's bring in Nanaya Wakwada, who is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. He joins us with more. Ms. Wakwada, I'm grateful for your time. Does it come to you as a surprise that we're having about half of our hydrants hidden?
Hey, good morning, Aisha. Good morning to your viewers. No, it does not come to us as a surprise. I indicated to your producer earlier that indeed this subject of fire hydrant, has been around as far back as 2012 when our record started at the Bureau of Public Safety. I mean, how many times have we not heard that tenders have gone to fire scenes and they've had to travel distances in order to refill their tenders to come back on fire scenes. In those times, we've had to discuss why fire hydrants are not, in close proximity to properties and to facilities. One, I do not intend to do a rediagnosing of the problem because we know why we are where we are. We know that already because one, poor planning in terms of our spatial planning is poor. So areas where hydrants either too wet. If you go to a place like Tema in some spaces in Accra, people have mounted private properties on hydrants. And because of that, we are unable to access them. The lack of maintenance. If the Ghana National Fire Service, indeed, were maintaining these hydrants over time, perhaps we could have minimized, how private properties have swallowed these hydrants. And then also, of course, we know the Ghana Water Company also provides water to these hydrants. If the systems were properly structured so that the Ghana Water Company was resourcing these hydrants for fire prevention or firefighting purposes, I'm sure the story would have been different. So it's a complete collapse of the whole system of fire prevention, firefighting within our community. We have mentioned time and again that the act that sets up the Ghana National Fire Service empowers them to also raise voluntary groups within the community, voluntary fire personnel within the community. These are non-salaried workers, non-wage staff, pure voluntary service for the fire service. These persons could have, be doing the maintenance and probably be filing monthly reports to the Ghana National Fire Service. But this has failed. And so we are where we are because of a cocktail of issues. We believe strongly that in order for us to be out of this, we must begin by, first of all, enforcing a stringent, property development rules that stringent property development rules, work with the town and country planning, which is now, I think, something special and something planning, work with them to ensure that we have hydrants at, within specified intervals across the city. And these hydrants will be, if you like, monitored by these community volunteers. With the structure, the framework of the law has already built the structure for us. What is left for us to do is the leadership. is the management of these systems, which is unfortunately we are lacking in that area badly, and that's why we find ourselves in where we are. But I believe that all is not lost. If we can begin to enforce, stringent planning laws, we can begin to enforce aspects of the act that establish the state fire service, we should be able to override some of these problems within the next couple of years.
And I'm grateful for your time. He's Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. He's been talking about the hydrants that are hitting, and he says it's not late. We can still go ahead and fix them to prevent fires.